I'm back from vacation. I'm home again, and it's kind of amazing what, 2 weeks off from work and a, I guess, location change and time off from responsibility of your day to day life can do to your thoughts and do to your spirit. And I had a really, really lovely time with my brother and his family. And I was also very happy to come home and see my boys and my husband again. Um, and I did, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I thought I would be good and continue to do videos while on vacation, but I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't. And that's okay. And we have Hedda today as my video assistant, and she's probably going to just sleep. Um, she's my working farm dog, and normally she sleeps most of the day unless there's a predator around, but she comes in the house to eat in the morning and then usually takes a snoozer. So what I want to talk about today, I had talked about self-care, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about taking care of our bodies, because I've mentioned before that my body is annoying to me, and having to take care of this earthly shell, this temporary, you know, thing of bones and skin and muscles, that it annoys me. But while I was on vacation and having no responsibility and not having my day to day worries, I really, it was brought to my attention how little care I take of my body. So I kind of wanted to talk about that today. And there's a few things that I kind of had to contemplate and roll over for myself. So I thought I would just share it with you guys. So the first one, and when someone else is cooking for you, things can look a little bit different. And the first thing was, food. And I kind of go back and forth with food. There's times that I am eating very perfectly and clean and healthy, and then there's other times where I'm not. And the big thing for me is, am I eating enough food? And the resounding answer to that is most of the time, no. Having to eat and having to eat all the time to keep your body running is annoying to me. I don't want to stop what I'm doing. I don't want to think about food. I don't want to think about what I'm putting in my mouth. So I think by and large, at least in this time period, I have not been eating enough. And then when I am eating, is it things that are good for me? Or is it just something that's easy or that my taste buds like? Because looking at what I normally would shove in my mouth just to satisfy my hunger and keep my body functioning would be coffee, tortilla chips, cheese, chocolate. Yeah. And there was a quote and it just fell. There was a quote that I read a long time ago, and it came back into my mind when I was thinking about this. In order to provide good fuel for our bodies, we do need to be eating healthy food, clean fruits, vegetables, meat if you eat it, good quality protein. And we do have that in our house. And normally when I cook, that is the way that I cook. But unless I'm sitting down with my family to have a meal at night, what I eat the rest of the day isn't necessarily good. But what this quote is, if you are what you eat, don't be fast, easy, cheap, or fake. And we don't want to be any of those things. I don't want to be fast, easy, cheap, or fake. So what I'm putting into my body to fuel it, because, we are given these bodies and we have to take care of them. I don't want it to be any of those things because I don't want to be any of those things. So just trying to be a little bit more mindful of what I'm feeding myself, when I'm feeding myself, if I'm feeding myself, because I realize that I am not eating enough food, and it isn't out of self-punishment or anything like that. It's just not thinking. Enough about food. The next part was, am I exercising enough? Am I moving? And I'm not necessarily talking about going to a gym or, having this like regular exercise program, but am I moving my body enough? Or am I just sitting all day long in contemplation and moving as little as possible? Because, if you sit for too long, you're, at my age, 40 years old, if I sit for too long, my joints start to lock up and then I'm stiff and sore. And my brother's family is very active. They live in an area of the country, Southern Oregon, that has a lot of places you can go for walks, you can go for hikes. And I realized after 2 days of that, and I was sore, that I am really not moving enough. So just trying to pay attention to whether or not I'm exercising my body in a way that is helpful. And am I doing too much? I work in a salon, and that's a physical job. You're standing on your feet. Am I doing too much that way and not taking the time to stretch and use my body in a way that would keep it healthy? Or am I just beating it up with the things that I'm doing every day? And am I getting enough sleep? I definitely get enough sleep. That's never a problem. Sometimes I have insomnia, but I definitely have the intention of getting enough sleep. Um, yeah, so I think that's really what was on my mind today. We do have to remember to take care of these shells that we're given while we're on this earth so that we can best use our gifts that we have in here and in here. Because if our bodies are breaking down from our own actions, we will not be able to be used in the way that we were meant to, in the way that we were created to. So I hope this is helpful for somebody. I know that's what's been on my mind. Am I taking care of my body, or am I only taking care of my mind and neglecting the other half of myself? So it's good to be back. We'll be back to, like I always say, regularly scheduled programming. And I miss talking to you guys. So I'm glad to be back. Vacation was great. Back to work in a couple days here. So take care of yourselves, take care of your body, and live and love out of the way you were created.